follow along on your note sheet as I go through these notes. Polyatomic ions, naming ternary compounds. So ter means three. So we're naming compounds that have three elements. So a ternary compound is made up of three elements, usually a metal and a polyatomic ion. This type of ion is a group of atoms bonded together with an overall charge. So let's look at these. Here's a list of a few polyatomic ions. So looking at this, notice this is nitrogen bonded to 4 hydrogens. And this whole thing has a charge of +1. So this means 1 nitrogen, 4 hydrogens, and that entire thing is a unit. It is one thing with it's one ion. The whole thing has a +1 charge. So similarly, OH with a 1- is 1 oxygen, 1 hydrogen bonded together, and the entire thing has a 1- charge. When we look here, nitrite. Nitrite is NO2 with a 1- charge. So what that means is we have 1 nitrogen, 2 oxygens, and the entire compound has a 1- charge. So this 2 only talks about those oxygens. It's only saying that we have 2 oxygens. We still just have 1 nitrogen, but this whole entire ion has a -1 charge. Nitrate has 1 nitrogen and then 3 oxygens. So it's 1 nitrogen, 3 oxygens, and that whole thing has a -1 charge. Carbonate has 1 carbon, 3 oxygens, and then this entire thing, the 1 carbon and 3 oxygens, has a -2 charge altogether, and so on. If you can recognize a ternary compound, which is a compound made up of 3 elements, such as NaOH, so notice Na, we know that that's 1 element because the N is the only thing capitalized. We know that O is 1 element because that's capitalized, and H is 1 element because that's capitalized. So it's important to only capitalize the first letter of an element. So naming is pretty straightforward. The name of the polyatomic ion does not change at all. If bonding with a metal, the name of the metal goes first, as we know, followed by the name of the polyatomic ion. So for example, this is our metal. Okay, it's a cation. It's positively charged, so that's the metal. And this is our polyatomic ion. So we start with the metal, in this case calcium. And then we look back and find NO3 with a 1- on this chart. So NO3 with a 1- is right here, and that's nitrate. So I'm just writing nitrate. So this is calcium nitrate. It should be 2 words. Calcium nitrate. So go ahead and do these 2. So if bonding with a nonmetal, the name of a polyatomic ion goes first, okay, because the nonmetal goes second, followed by the name of the nonmetal ending in -ide, just like we have talked about before. So for example, we have these 2. This is obviously a polyatomic ion because it has multiple elements in it. It has nitrogen and hydrogen. So let's go back, and here we find NH4 with a 1+ charge. That's ammonium. So this will be ammonium. And here is our nonmetal. So it's fluor, and then we change the ending to -ide, fluoride. So ammonium fluoride. Go ahead and do these other 2. Then check your answers with Mrs. Lehman.